Look around and tell me I'm wrong. Look around and tell me I'm wrong. Get gone.
Ik hou van Holland, landje aan de Zuiderzee. Een stukje Holland draag ik in mijn hart steeds mee. Daar waar die molens draaien in hun forse kracht. En waar de bollen bloeien in hun schoonste pracht. Ik hou van Holland, met je bossen en je hei. Jouw blonde duinen in een bonte rij. Op heel deze grote aard, al ben ik van huis en haard, is het kleine Holland mij het meeste waard. Ik hou van Holland, met je bossen en je hei. Jouw blonde duinen in een bonte rij. Op heel deze grote aard, al ben ik van huis en haard, is het kleine Holland mij het meeste waard.
Hello.
We're in Naarden. We've just had our first little walk in, well, me anyway, in about a week. Jeff's been doing 5-6 miles a day, tromping around the Dutch
Going to
countryside.
find food and bringing it back. Hunter gathering at its finest.
He has been hunter gathering. I have had a rough week. I barely left the bus really. Little forays out here and there. But I've been ill for about a week, really badly. I noticed when I was in the art gallery, I noticed my back was really aching when I was wandering around. Things snowballed from there, and things have got worse and worse. So I'm on the mend and I'm out properly. I'm supposed to fly to Manchester and present at the JKe&x Tarot conference. And I went to the GP who told me I had an infection and there's no way I was allowed to fly. Not that I could have done anyway. So I'm on antibiotics now. I'm out today and that's really good. We had a little walk. It's all very flat in Holland and that is actually a good thing.
It's very pleasant, Holland, I've found so far.
Pleasant.
Very pleasant.
People are very nice. Everybody's very kind. Everybody and the country is very level.
Like the terrain.
Yes, that's a good thing. It's okay, it's good. So we feel like we haven't really started properly, have we? We haven't. We just haven't got going. Nothing that we planned to do, we could do. We were also supposed to meet up with some friends that we met in the Pingo Doce car park in Lagos in Portugal last year. And they were our next door but one land neighbours, and I've stayed in touch with them for the last year. And we found ourselves about an hour away from
we
them.
were quite near.
We were going to go and have drinks with them and catch up with them. And then I just couldn't. And anyway, you can't be spreading this bloody thing around. So we had to cancel that, which was very upsetting.
The one good thing was I didn't catch it.
No, Geoff hasn't caught it. So we feel like we're just beginning our trip.
Well, Antwerp was fun.
Antwerp was lovely. The bar with all of the church paraphernalia was just...
Very good live musician, which is not something you see that much.
Yeah, he was lovely, and he had such a great smile. He just had the sort of smile that could make the sun come out even though it was pouring with rain outside. That guy's smile could just, it's just
Well, and the
lovely.
secondary thing, he was a pretty good singer and guitarist.
He was
But,
good.
you know, obviously the smile is the main thing.
Anyway, so this is Naarden. We're looking forward to showing you around, and I will be taking regular sit-downs. Let's see what Naarden has to offer. It's a fortified town, that's all we know about it. There's a very impressive moat outside, and other than that we don't know much, but we'll know more, and so will you very soon. So let's we'll see you then.
See you later.
Bye. Really cute little town, Naarden. We like Naarden. You know, I'm a sucker for a place that keeps the original cobbles. Look at this, isn't this cool? Very nice. It's very well groomed, very understated and sophisticated, and everything's beautifully appointed and taken care of, which is actually quite soothing when you've not been well. It feels nice to be somewhere sort of manicured and and taken care of. Oh, how odd, there's a stuffed chicken. Hold on, I must show you. It's in somebody's sitting room, to make sure they're not in their sitting room before I film through their window. I felt like he was looking back at me then. I want to believe that he was their most loved chicken. Perhaps he was the kind of the cock, and he was responsible for loads and loads of eggs. I don't know. Well, why have they got a stuffed chicken in their window? It's a very beautiful chicken. Anyway, we like this town, and they're very good with hydrangeas.
Trying to read the translation.
Oh, go on then.
It says, someone has to do it. Someone has to show the way to the shadows of seers and singers. Someone must tread frozen paths under the shadow of a flight of starlings, must walk alone in the milky white winter. Remember those who once walked, drank, and slept here, so that they remain. Someone has to do it.
So this is the Hele Lutz, which is the original garrison shed from 1882, and it is as it was. It is the only wooden structure still standing and in its original colour. I know that it's Hele Lutz because I asked how to pronounce it, because I keep being told off because my pronunciation is so bad. But anyway, the garrison shed of the town is still standing and in beautifully maintained condition, unsurprisingly, because if I think the Dutch do anything well, they take care of things, and maintenance appears to be there's nothing broken down or in bad repair, or none of the ruins that we see in the rest of our travels. We haven't seen one single ruin. Everything is just beautifully taken care of and in tip-top condition, as is this shed from 1882. It's very impressive, very impressive. This shed is in better condition than our garden shed used to be, and that was only put up 10 years earlier. Just saying. Word to the wise. So I've just been into the yellow shed and had a look around the historic display that's there, telling us all about Naarden's history. And it's really interesting. It all sort of kicked off in high drama in 1572 as part of the 800 Years' War, I think, when Naarden was invaded and razed to the ground by the Spanish army, who stormed in, rounded up all the menfolk, shot them in the town hall, now called Spanish House, and burnt the town to the ground. There were very few survivors, and it was absolutely catastrophic. And then 100 years later, in 1672, I think it was Louis XIV also tried to invade Naarden, but this time the elders of the town breached the dikes around the town and flooded the whole of the western part of the town, making it impossible for the French troops to find their way through the water and the mud to actually successfully take the town. This became a thing. And Naarden then took its place as a fort on the Dutch waterline, which was supposed to be a defense line for Amsterdam. So if the idea was they would create a safe area surrounded by water, so if the worst came to the worst and Holland was invaded and taken, then they could all kind of go into this area surrounded by water, and that there would be a degree of safety in that. That was the Dutch waterline. Naarden was part of that. Naarden's position as a fort held firm until it was eventually decommissioned in 1926. And apparently, so the thing said, there was an immense celebration in the town when Naarden's was defortified. And apparently a very large number of the town's population wanted the entire fort and all of the fortifications to be demolished. And there was a big fight in the town to stop that happening, and lots of people just said, nope, we want it gone. But they decided in the end that to preserve it as a historical monument and to build a living town within it. And the whole town is shaped like a star because it's all to do with how the waterworks kind of run around the town. It's like a giant moat basically, and then they can breach some of the dikes, some of the dams, they can breach them to further flood areas should they have needed to. There are quite a lot of door knockers around Naarden that are star-shaped. It is an insignia in the town, the shape of the star, which is the shape of the fort that Naarden was built in. I hope that's interesting. I thought it was quite interesting. I like to know a bit about where we are, so I thought I'd share that with you. So we're going to walk on. Geoff has been very patient over there, waiting for me while I wax lyrical. It's very good discipline for me to try and remember the historical facts 30 seconds after I leave the yellow shed. So it's as much for me as for you.
What's your back?
Well, I didn't know this was a cycleway.
This is Holland. Everywhere there's like a way.
There, everything's a cycleway. See, I love these swing seats. This is the second one of these we've seen since we've been in Holland. Aren't they just fabulous? Look at this. And there's some more over here. Different styles. Would you not have one of these in your garden? Flynn's trying to come up. Ah! Oh no, this is getting too violent. Poor Flynn. Want to come up?
Here we go.
Hold on, no, we have to be quite gentle. Oh no! Oh, Flynn's all freaked out. He doesn't understand why the seat is moving.
Woo!
We're having a selfie swing here. Oh, he wants to come back up again.
Right.
Oh,
Ready?
there we go. Oh, Poor Flynn, I don't think.
You slipped me through the back now.
Are we having fun yet, he says. Here we are,
Here we are.
on our selfie swing.
We are the Sultans of Swing.
That was very exciting. It's probably the most exciting thing we've done since we've been in Holland.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go and explore this little arts and craft gallery that's in there. All right. Was that very exciting for you? Yes. Thank you. So this is Giel, and Giel makes these fantastic swings. And when I said I'd seen one before, that's because it's Giel Swings. So he's here, and this is his gallery, and he's going to tell you, there we go, all about his swings.
Hello, I'm Giel, and I make these swings as parts of my very big rope installations. You can use them to set the whole artwork in motion. And I usually make works that are made of a lot of small parts that combined make big things. And they're like as big as a landscape, hundreds of meters.
Fantastic. How long have you had this gallery?
I've had this gallery for, I think this is the 4th year, and it's just a little place where I can show what I do. It's very simple.
Yeah. And are you from this area, or
Yes,
did you move
I grew up here.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
This is my father, by the way.
Hello.
We lived in a houseboat just a couple of 100 meters from here.
Perfect. So boating is in your blood as well, then?
Yes.
Yeah. I have dreamed of living on a Dutch barge for I can't tell you how long. They're so gorgeous. I
Yes.
just love them. Anyway, so we may well see you for a beer later if we catch up with you, but
Yeah.
in the meantime, thank you.
Well, have a nice day.
Pleasure. We're going on a tram. What do you think? Is it Kronrin?
Kronreached.
We need to learn more about how to pronounce Dutch. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, I know. By the
Please.
time we've done it, we've left Holland. So.
We're a bit useless.
Who speaks this lady, doesn't she?
Just going to ask so we know how to pronounce it in case we get lost. Can't find our way back. What's so sad about us is everybody speaks English but we don't speak Dutch. Oh, our tram, quick!
We allebei zongen lieden ken. Al wie dat hoorde wat bij hem zijn. Al wie dat hoorde wat bij hem zijn. En dat vernam een koningskind. Die was zo schoon en welbemind. Die was zo schoon en welbemind. Ging al voor haar vader staan. Al vader mag ik naar Halwijn gaan. Vader mag ik naar Halwijn gaan. Och nee, geen dochter, nee, geen niet. Die
First class of my favourite tipples, Grimbergen.
Grimbergen.
If you go to Utrecht, don't forget to have a few Grimbergens while you're here.
Are you hoping to get the advertising gig?
ging al voor haar moeder staan. Op moeder mag ik naar Halwijn gaan. Moeder mag ik naar Halwijn gaan. Of nee, geen dochter, nee, geen niet. Die der wat gaan en keren niet. Die der wat gaan en keren niet. Zij ging al voor haar zuster staan. Of zuster mag ik naar Halwijn gaan. Zuster mag ik naar Halwijn gaan. Of nee, geen zuster, nee, geen niet. Die der wat gaan en keren niet. Die der wat gaan en keren niet. Ze ging al voor haar een broeder staan. Op broeder mag ik naar Halwijn gaan. Broeder mag ik naar Halwijn gaan. Is mij alleen.
So this is Utrecht's Dom Tower, which you can climb. And you know what? On another day, I might have been tempted. but today sadly not. I will show you this though. Macaroons are big in this town, but also meringues, anything begin with M, basically. Check this out. Here we go. You could just buy meringues and munch on them if that's your thing. That is a gorgeous tower. Very nice. We've decided not to do Amsterdam. We've done Amsterdam a few times now, and we haven't been here though, and we are enjoying. It has a very similar vibe, a little mini Amsterdam, but it's quieter, but it's still pretty. We like it, don't we, Geoff?
Lovely.
We had a very nice beer. I've taken to drinking non-alcoholic beers at the moment because I'm still on antibiotics, and I find they're actually really good. I might stay with non-alcoholic beers. It could almost be me, couldn't it? On there, Geoff. Riding energetically through the city streets. I'm not sure I'm ever going to do anything energetically ever again. The tulips are to Holland what lemons are to Italy. When we were in Amalfi last year, everything was with the lemons, and here it's of course tulips. So, you know, got to show them.
Alle wens aan haar tegenkwam, alle wens aan haar tegenkwam. Hij bond zijn paard aan in een boom. De jonkvrouw was vol angst en schoon. De jonkvrouw was vol angst en schoon. Vergroet zei hij, gij schone maat. Vergroet zei hij, bruin ogen klaar. Komt hier zit, dan bindt uw haar. Zo menig haar dat zij ontbond. Zo menig traantje haar ontrond. Zo menig traantje haar ontrond. De reden met
arrived at the Molen Museum, the windmill museum in Zaandam. The ride in was a little bit disturbing because we found ourselves up a very narrow lane, as I'm sure you saw, causing us much disapproval from passers-by. So I'm going to explore the museum as we tend to do it this way. The museum is about 22 euros each to see the museum and a couple of windmills, and we don't really want to spend 44 euros for the two of us because we're mean, and so I'm going to go do it and film it, and just going to keep Flynn company in the bus because he's not allowed in there anyway. So let's have a look. We're going to explore the museum and let's see what happens in there, and then I'll take you around one of the windmills and let's have a look together.
Vrienden in het ronde, minnaars van een stoel. Ik zal u gaan verkonden hoe ik door het slijpers viel. De kostverdien voor vrouwen, schoon blootgesteld aan leren. Ter leren, ter la, van linksom rechtsom draai mijn steen door het roeren van mijn been. De smid die moet hard werken, gestadig voor het wiel. Hij durft hem niet versterken met linksom, rechtsom draait mijn steen door het horen van mijn beentje. Dus ik zijf gezeten op een pikkelstoel, zou kaas en droog brood eten, maar als ik noodgevoel, dan slijp ik tot den avond toe. En zo heb ik nog nooit hadden terlierenland terla. Van linksom, rechtsom draait mijn steen door het roeren van mijn been. Van linksom, rechtsom draait mijn steen door het roeren van mijn been.
Well, honestly, that was amazing. I had no idea that the whole windmill thing was so brutal. I suppose it's my ignorance, but you know, we're really used to the whole windmill thing in Holland as being maybe a little bit cutesy, but not at all. If you think of the factories in the north, in the Industrial Revolution, that's what the windmills were. In this area, there was at any one time 650 windmills, all going in tandem. Apparently the noise, even in the locale, was constant and deafening. Now, we saw a little bit with the machinery and the windmill then, and we heard the clunking. There was one sort of clunker going where there could have been 6. So that noise times 6 constantly. People would work for 100 hours straight. If the wind's blowing, then the windmill will be run by a 5 to 7 man team. That team would not stop. They would sometimes sleep in the rafters of the windmill and tag team, so they would sleep for a couple of hours and then get up. They were paid once a fortnight, and they were only paid on what the mill produced. And then they would have to split whatever the amount was between the 5 or 7 of them, depending on the size of the mill. And of course the mills were machining all kinds of different things. So the oil mill, which was nut oils and seed oils. This mill we've just been in would have been pigments, and that apparently was the worst one, because the pigments were mined mainly in France by slave labour. The white was the worst because the guys there would just die of lead poisoning. Really, really brutal that they would just be breathing in this pigments and the dust and everything, and they'd all be deaf because basically the noise was so loud. They were deaf within a couple of years. Every October they would be given a butchery ration, so they were given a meat ration once a year. So if you lived in one of the mills that traditionally perhaps paid a little better, which I think were the timber mills, then the guys who worked there, their wives sort of historically didn't work. So the idea was that they got paid a tiny bit more, and there was a sense of pride that their wives didn't work. For the other mills, the guys who worked in the pigment mills, the wives and the children, they worked in the paper mills, setting the paper racks. And that was seen as work for women and children. The whole thing was horrendous and all-embracing, and the conditions that people lived in and worked in were just excruciatingly bad, and they did not have a long life expectancy. The French Revolution had happened, and there was this big dread that it was going to happen in Holland as well. And there was a whole bunch of workers who were protesting at the opulence that the mill owners worked in. And so a group of them broke off and basically totally trashed, burnt to the ground, razed to the ground 7 grand houses in this area, completely destroyed them. And there was a real fear that the same thing was going to happen in Holland as happened in France. What a powerful history. I had absolutely no idea how brutal the windmill thing actually was. Can you imagine 650 of these all in a locale, all going at once? Amazing, really amazing. So I'm very happy that we came and did this. It was a real eye-opener. I hope you've enjoyed it. I don't know where we're going next, but it'll be somewhere. See you then. Bye.
Out there chasing rainbows, jumping over hedges, flying like a sparrow through the rain. I've been taking chances, losing my umbrella. I could grant your wishes 1 to 10. Just